Over the past 6 months, I have learned all 1080 Algs of Skewb TCLL, and I've also recorded videos for all of them and created spreadsheets for them. So here's a video to explain my journey and how all of that happened. So firstly, what is TCLL? So you guys might know NS, where you have a solved layer and you solve the rest of the cube with one alg. TCLL is when you have a layer, but one corner is oriented, and solve the rest in one algorithm as well. So as I said, that's 1080 algs, which is quite a lot, and it's been quite hard learning all of them. So it's quite a big investment to make, and I think it's been worth it. So now, why learn TCLL? Using TCLL saves about 0.7 moves on average compared to using NS and EG2. So this is just taking the best layer on average, or best TCLL layer on average, and then adding the average last layer, the best TCLL, like average TCLL. So that saves about 0.7 moves on average if you only look at one case. But the other point is that knowing TCLL also boosts one look count and one look rate. So for example, some difficult no bars, there will be much more efficient TCLL layers, and also even for simple layers there would be a lot more ways to make TCLL layers, so boosting my one look count as well. So if I also increase my one look, then I'll be a lot more efficient as well. Okay, so this all started at the 2025 World Championships, where I had a great talk with this guy Liam Heiduchek, and he taught me a lot about generating Algs and his experience with learning Algs and stuff like that, and that inspired me a lot because I've thought about TCLL before and super crazy Skewb Algs sets, right? But it never came to me that was even approachable because there was so many Algs and there were no trainers. None of the Algs were generated, like it just felt unapproachable to me. So coming out of Worlds, I got really inspired by Liam to actually go on a journey to learn TCLL because he had taught me that so much more was possible. At the time that I started my mission to learn TCLL, not many Algs were generated and there weren't any trainers to actually practice them. So what did I do? I built two crucial pieces of software that made a nearly impossible task seem approachable. So the first piece of software was a Skewb algorithm. So I've made a video on that, you can find it in the description. And how that helps is that when generating Algs with batch solver, which is what I use, you can only really sort it with very basic metrics like move count, and you can weight the move count so that like R moves are better than B moves and stuff like that. But that isn't too helpful. So the algorithm would rate the Algs and then output it like that. So I'd have the best Algs on top, and then so instead of searching through tens of Algs, I'd only have to look at the top maybe 5 or 10, which saved a lot of time, especially across 1080 Algs. So now that I'd overcome this small hurdle, I had a much bigger problem to tackle. How do I train and actually learn these algorithms? Alright, firstly, I would like to credit Malte Ihlefeld for his amazing alg trainer. I used that as my foundation and built everything else on top. So if he didn't exist, I would not have finished TCLL. Like, it would be so much harder without him. So go check his trainer out. But this trainer has one issue. It only worked with set algorithms. I wanted to be able to input my own algorithms through a file. To keep things short, I basically took an input. I had to build an input system to actually take the Algs in. And then from that, I would generate scrambles to actually set up the cube to train the case. And then I also generated images so that I'd have a visual reference for the algorithm. And I also added in groups and sets for the algorithm, so I could practice groups at once, right, to make things easier, so I don't have to press open. So when programming all of this, some aspects were really easy to program, others were not. It took about a month to do it, and it was pretty fun. I had fun picking up coding back. Like, I did a bit of code. I sporadically did coding when I was a kid, really, and yeah, it was nice to actually like come back and have a proper project. Yeah. Also during this month, I was generating the algorithms, so I would be programming at home at night, and then when I'm at school and like in the mornings and stuff, I would be generating algorithms. So I was quite busy, and yeah, the algorithms also took about a month and a bit. I was doing like 30, 40 algs a day on average, and that was also quite painful, and sometimes I would rush it and the algs would be bad, but in the end I fixed it all up. And yeah, so around mid-September I had everything ready. I had all my algs, I had all my software with the trainer that I needed to actually start learning. So put my head down and start putting in the work. At the beginning I started with only around 4 algs a day. Very easy, very light. I wanted it to be manageable. I was also filming, as I said before. So, and after a month of learning at 4 algs a day, I was up to 120, so I finished full 2-phase TCLL. And at that point I started to learn at 6 algs a day, so I could go faster, right? And that went quite well actually. I actually retained algs better throughout like a full set, because I think it's just like it went from 15 days for a set to 10 days, right? So information just stuck with me better. Throughout the 6-month journey from mid-September to late March, early April, I had a plethora of speed bumps and detours. It was not easy. I had comps like Australian Nationals and Melbourne Summer, which I practiced a lot for, and I moved schools. I also had a camp in the middle of nowhere where for a week I couldn't even touch a cube, basically. And also many, many days where I had zero motivation to learn algs. Yeah. But I persevered, making up for the sessions I missed and putting continual effort. Closing into the final stages of reviewing, I used the school holidays as a boost because it kind of perfectly aligned, which was really nice. And honestly, I drilled algs for an amount of time I don't want to talk about. It's too much, it's unhealthy, don't do it. Yeah, this was the time for me to clean up my algs, refresh my memory, all that sorts of stuff, and just basically make sense of what I've learned through the last half a year, right? And that leads us to what I'm right now. After over half a year of keeping this a secret, only telling my closest friends and family, I would like to reveal what I've been doing for 6 months, right? And the reason I didn't want to tell anyone really was because I knew if I had to tell people and get their validation, I would not finish probably, and that's just because it has to come from me, not from any outside sources, right? I need to be the one that's motivated or disciplined on those unmotivated days, right? So yeah, what's gonna happen next? Over the next 2 to 3 months, possibly more, I want to improve my one look a lot, just to get used to doing TCLL layers, and I also want to get really comfortable with all the algs. This will be in time for Australian Nationals 2026, and I would like to use TCLL at that comp, but if I don't feel confident enough, I'm not going to attempt to use TCLL if I'm trying to win Nats, right? And after Nationals, depending on how I feel, depending on how things go, life, etc., I would like to attempt to learn TG2, and if that happens, I'll make it public, because I know if I can do it once, I can do it twice, right? And I'll probably also do it a lot faster, just because there's been issues with taking 6 months to learn the alg set. It's actually quite hard to retain all the information for that long. But if I do learn TG2, I'll give myself quite a bit of time to get ready with everything before Worlds 2027, where I would like to be extremely confident with all those algorithm sets. And yeah, as another reminder, I'll be soon releasing 2 videos. One on the trainer, all the logistics behind that for the people who are interested. And I'll be releasing another video on how to learn TCLL, how to use all my resources, how to modify them to like make it your own, how to even learn your own algs for that sake, right? And yeah, that was a good 6 months well spent.